Please welcome to the stage the greatest podcast in the history of the world. Better than Kane and Rinse. Definitely better than Kane and Rinse. It's the Computer Game Show.
Hello.
It's unlike you to ask for permission, James, isn't it?
Starting early.
That's not fair.
Hello, everybody. This is the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner, and with me today are two maverick renegades who, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but I'm not quite happy with them at the moment. It's Matt Murray.
Hello.
You got to cheer this one.
Only a couple of boos, that's okay, I'll say that. Already way better than the Rez show.
And James Farley.
Thank you.
And also Sean's here.
He's here.
So we're just going to do our normal show, and I hope that translates well. Let's get straight into it. Straight into the feedback, Matt. Everyone loved it last week, did they?
Go for it, Matt.
Everyone loved it last week. Although we had some angry people, mostly angry that you weren't angry enough, James and I.
This is
We
ridiculous.
should probably explain for people who haven't heard last week's show.
Okay.
I mean, there's actually a massive backstory to this, but essentially James and I put out a rogue podcast on our podcast feed. We thought it was fine. It's a great show as well.
We do deeply regret this now.
You thought it was so fine, you didn't even think
What do you mean?
to ask us.
Whoa, hang on. What do you mean we deeply regret?
Okay, well, I thought we did.
No, it's a great show.
James, you've got your own mind. You can make your own mind up. I thought we, the collective, did feel sorry about this current situation.
I thought we'd agreed that it was fine. You know, we'd done.
It's a great show.
Yeah,
anyway, Andrew Rice said, "Bring back Angry Dave." Steve Norman says, "Dave isn't as much fun without Angry Dave.
I agree.
Any chance of him coming back one more time before he's gone? Ideally after a game of football, and maybe following a rogue 2-hour interface special on the GameCube adapter for Switch." I mean, sounds like they want more.
This is it, isn't it? I mean, I went through my phase of taking things too far. I apologised, and because everyone
That was some
going,
phase, wasn't it? That
Just
was
stop
some phase.
just stop it, David. You're ruining everything. And then hey, hello.
Hey!
And,
Now we've started.
Yeah, we're all good now.
and I chilled out a bit. And now people's going, get more angry. Can you get more angry? I can't win.
Well, Bob Bonker, everyone's favourite Bob. So David isn't allowed to do his overblown angry twat routine. So what's this passive-aggressive twat routine? I prefer the embarrassing rants.
What, really? Okay. I don't know about passive-aggressive.
It was pretty passive-aggressive.
In what way?
It was, yeah. So.
You're on my side, Sean.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, is he?
It was that whole sort of like, I'm disappointed in you. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I was disappointed in you. There was no...
It was very clear that you were upset with him, but without, having a go at him.
Without going crazy.
Okay.
No, which is about right, I thought.
Thank you, Sean. You get a long-winded way of saying, you're right, David. Yeah, okay, fine.
But John Denton said he was on board with you slating us for the interface violation until you compared yourself to Steve Jobs. I mean, Capone Adam, everyone's favourite Capone Adam. Show of hands for Capone Adam. Yeah. And yeah, exactly half of the audience again. Half you hate him, half
the
you
other
love
50
him.
have walked
Love
out.
that, yeah. Enjoyed Interface Gate until, again, Dave compares himself to Steve Jobs.
I don't think it's that weird. I think that's about right.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Well, I mean, he changed the face of technology forever.
It was
Go on.
horrible to all
And
his
Steve
staff.
Jobs was there.
Capone Adam continues, how could it get any better, this show? Oh, wait, maybe James trying to kill a fly for about 5 minutes. I mean, it was unbelievable to be part of.
It was really awkward because, as I said, I was really concerned that there'd be buzzing in the background.
No, there was buzzing.
I know,
We could hear the buzzing.
Exactly, and then I'd have got tweets, people saying just like, "What's that buzzing?" And then I'd had to confess, then it had all gone on. I thought, I've got to deal with it. But I wasn't expecting you to put it in.
Did you kill it?
No. No, because it disappeared. I whacked it right next to the printer. And I thought,
what sort of garage is this?
It's a business garage, David. That's what we're doing. We're doing a lot of...
I'm no longer in the garage, which is good.
Whoa.
Brilliant.
Moving on.
It's too cold.
I'm now in the wardrobe, everyone. I'm in the wardrobe.
It's cold, and it's also the smell of mold.
Care.
There's like a whole thing,
I do not care.
I mean, do you remember that time when we were podcasting in there, and then I had that coughing fit and I collapsed?
Yes.
Yeah,
Again, another classic moment.
Managed to mute your mic for that.
I was gutted about that. That would be amazing to hear James fall back and then James, he's died.
I found myself in a crumpled heap on the floor. It was horrible.
Oh my god, what do you want sympathy? Next.
Yeah, nice.
Sean S. Thomas, we're talking about Nintendo's new online service, of course, that was mentioned last week. I can't believe a Nintendo online service launched without any upgrades to their core offerings. Surely a new Salmon Run map for Splatoon, a new battle mode track, or something in ARMS would sweeten the deal. As it is, I can't see a reason for the average gamer to return. I mean, we're going to mention it.
You could have left this out, because I did put it in the news, Matt.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, interface is not going to last long.
I own this section! Anyway, we'll cover that in the news.
You know what's going
I'm talking about Sean's new streaming experience is going to start obviously in the next coming weeks and months. He's going to play the Journey. Tender people would love to see you play the Journey on stream. That was the only tweet actually that said they wanted to see it, but we all want to see it.
Right, yeah, I mean, do you want to see Sean play through the Journey? It's going to be incredible, right? I can't wait to see what club he picks. That's the moment.
You see, because I really don't want to do it, but it's too good an idea not to.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be doing it.
Yeah.
Rushing through Shenmue now.
I've checked. I can get it all on Origin Access. It's like £3 a month.
Oh, right,
Well, it's okay because Ian Clayton will donate a copy of FIFA 16 on Xbox One, Sean. So as you all know, Sean, the biggest Xbox gamer in the room. That's it for follow-up.
Excellent. Right. Well,
it's time for the news hound.
It's our newsman, James Farley.
Should I go over there again?
Yes, you should, please. Round of applause.
Round of applause to James.
We'll make sure that the first news story is light-hearted, because after that you can't go straight into the hard hits.
No, this is quite a good one. This is a nice lectern as well.
As lectern goes, it's certainly up there.
It's but it's not very good because it's like perspex. So if you've got notes on the other side, people could read it.
Well, have you?
It's fine.
If they're sitting down here, maybe.
People sitting in the front row could definitely do that. Okay. Anyway, first
news.
The first
time
news
for the
story,
news.
James Farley.
Thank you. First story. So we got Sony takes on NES Mini with the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. So when's this coming out? What are the details?
Okay, so this is launching 3rd of December, and it's £90.
All right. So
and it's
more expensive than the Nintendo.
Oh god,
yeah. Is it 90 or 99?
It says 90 here.
Okay.
£90. What games? How many games?
Okay, so it's going to come with 20 games preloaded, but so far we only know about a few.
4.
Yeah. So we
Four
got
games?
Just 4
They're
confirmed so
taking
far.
pre-orders for this already, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not going to tell you what the other games are.
What's wrong with that?
Like, why not? What's holding them
They're
back?
teasing it. They love a tease.
What? I mean, it's hardly said Destruction Derby.
If that's on, it's day one purchase for me.
See, what's worrying is the games they've released are like all the good ones. So what's next?
What?
Yeah, what are
What's that?
Like good ones. I don't know.
So they're not the good ones. They've only released the bad ones.
Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
People
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
Fair enough.
They like that game, don't they?
They do.
People do really like
Yeah.
Final
Although
Fantasy.
people that are really into Final Fantasy, I always say, oh no, it's not a very good one actually. It's it's 6 is the good one and 9 and everything. But
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, then we've also got Jumping Flash.
Oh yeah.
That's the one I've never actually played that, but I've seen the cover of that everywhere. I don't know why it's one
like
of those.
a robotic rabbit,
little
and it's
thing,
like a first-person platformer, which is not a great idea.
I don't think you like it, do you, Sean? You're not going to be positive about
I
this.
remember it looking weird at the time, but I'm not sure it's going to have held up that well, that's all.
Okay, well, we'll find out for £90 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Have you played Jumping Flash, Matt?
No.
No.
He sounded concerned then.
Yeah. Have you? Please tell me you have.
Played it, Matt.
There's a lot I haven't played, James. You know that.
Okay.
What's next?
Ridge Racer Type 4.
Okay.
Type 4? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was the original.
It says Type 4
Okay.
on Eurogamer.
I don't argue with the news, Matt.
Yeah, it's full of facts, this guy.
And we got Tekken 3.
Well,
that is
everyone
the good
loves
one.
a bit of Tekken.
Yeah.
That is the good one.
Yeah.
And Wild Arms.
Okay.
Wild Arms?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Have you?
I've heard of it.
Any good?
I don't know. But I've heard of the name. That's the hard part. I've heard of the name.
Okay, so it's also coming with 2 controllers. And one of the nice features, according to Eurogamer, is that if you press the disc eject button, that's how you change the game.
Sorry, did
Yeah,
they
I
tell
saw
you
that.
to keep mentioning Eurogamer?
Hang on. Finally, it's come.
What? So, I mean, change the games, isn't it? Just all on ROMs and stuff.
Well, yeah, but you
No,
press
if
the
you
button
want
and
to
then you
change
can
switch games.
Yeah, you can switch it.
Oh, that is a nice touch, I guess. What? Okay, well, what's the next story?
It's 45% smaller than the original.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
No, are any of us going to buy it? Are you more? I'm way more interested in this than I was like a NES Classic.
I'm all right, I think.
90 quid just seems.
Yeah, not all the
yeah.
90 because obviously those NES Classics and SNES were they like 70 or 80, which is a bit more. I mean, this is 90. It wasn't. I thought 100. It's not quite impulse buy territory,
But like, I never actually had an original PlayStation. I had a PS2, but the original one I never had, so there's no nostalgia there for me. But they haven't Nintendo.
Yeah, we got
There's
this.
some news. Is that on
don't
there?
spoil the news.
It's not on there, but
What?
Nintendo. It's late.
I don't know what that means, James. But
I prepared this last night, and this happened. I think
before last night.
Well, yeah, maybe it didn't seem relevant at the time, but now it does.
yeah,
But yeah.
exactly.
So
it's too late.
yeah, so the N64 is getting like a mini version. I mean,
Wow, I did not see this coming at all.
That is a real shock. Isn't it?
I mean,
Now
I can't
that
believe
is
it.
one that I'd be interested in.
Would you really,
depending on
though,
the games. Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding
what do you
me?
reckon it's going to look like, though? Like, I don't
Like
think
an
It's like a
Xbox
smaller version.
Sort of smaller.
Like that, but smaller.
to that one, but I mean, like like visual quality and all that kind of thing. Like,
I mean, it looked crap, but I mean, every old game looks crap. It's fine. I'm fully prepared for it to look crap, as long as it's got some good games. And we've spoken about this before when we were talking about where they would go next. The game is going to be so interesting to see what games are on there, because obviously there'll be Mario 64 and stuff, but none of the rare stuff. Is that going to take a big hit?
Wait, is that definitely? They definitely wouldn't be on there.
Well, I'd be
Well,
surprised,
stuff,
man. It's
the stuff that's Nintendo owned. Like, no, because there's a problem with that, isn't there? I've just thought of what you said.
we don't know. We don't know, but I'd be interested to see what's on that box. As for the PlayStation 1, I can't see me purchasing it, but why not release it, see what happens?
Yeah, Sony, you're allowed to release it. You can
Yeah, Sony,
move on.
you can
We've
have it.
given you permission to release it, Sony. Go on.
What's the next
Good
news
luck
story?
to them. Also, Vita has stopped manufacturing.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I'm devastated.
The thing that confuses me, because you hear these stories about that when they finally say, we're not going to make any more PS2s, we're not going to do... I just think, who's sitting there, like, during the week and going, Saturday, I think I'm going to go down Argos, right, and go and order myself a Vita.
A brand new Vita
Like,
for 180 quid,
why is
probably.
it's weird, but I suppose...
Well, yeah,
I
but
mean,
some people still want, like, if you want to get a replacement or that kind of thing, people are into that.
yeah, I guess, but it's just, okay, that's sad, the
But
Vita's gone.
it's next year is actually the last year though, so it's 2019.
You still got time. You still got time. So rush out now.
Go out
to
and buy
local
Vita.
games emporium.
Make it a success, which it wasn't. But yeah,
Yeah, change it. Yeah.
but no, I mean it's been out longer than I thought it had because it's 2011 it came out, so it's had 8 years
God, has it been
of
that
like
long?
terrible support from Sony and stuff. But it was still, it was a good console.
Well, I mean, it's major. The good thing about it was it become the sort of indie platform, right?
Yeah.
And since the Switch has come out, that's kind of taken that crown. So I suppose the one thing that I was interested in with the Vita is now on the Switch. So I've never had any real need to get one. And of course, you were using it a lot for remote play.
Yeah, I still sometimes use it, but it's only suitable for certain kind of games, really.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, I remember when the first Destiny was out, I was doing like patrols using a Vita remote play.
It seems
worked for
crazy that they haven't brought out a sort of companion Vita for the PS4 just for remote play.
Well,
this is
How
done
do you
really
mean?
badly, isn't it? So they probably just
Yeah, I know,
that.
but-
Sorry, how do you mean companion Vita?
Well, so one that doesn't actually, it's not a Vita itself, but it is, a similar thing that does that remote play, but has enough buttons, like the same amount of buttons.
Basically like a tablet with...
Yeah, a
buttons,
tablet with like a proper control system on it, but I mean, they haven't done it, so. New. Anything else?
Yeah, there's loads of things. Okay, so we've got PlayStation now lets you download games onto your PS4 and also PS2 games as well, apparently.
What?
Yeah.
So,
Why not PS3? Like we've got 2, we've got 4. Why not?
Well, because, there's no backwards compatibility, so...
Oh, it's a technical thing, is that what you're saying?
but
It's a technology thing.
the PS2, Like, how does it play PS2 games?
Well, no, because some of them get re-released in like wrappers and stuff. Because that's what happened with Fahrenheit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because they're not. Are they? I can't remember if they're running under emulation or if they've been ported to an extent. Or
I don't know.
Anyway, does this make PlayStation Now worth getting?
Well, you see,
isn't this what people are wanting? Like,
I saw this
actually
news.
download the games.
Like, obviously, as someone who doesn't own an Xbox, I saw this news and I was like, "Oh, brilliant! I'm going to go and have a look at the lineup again." And
what's the price? What's the price? Though?
It's £13 still a month.
Yeah,
which is still
quite pricey.
If you consider it compared with like Game Pass, which is what
£8 quid.
Yeah, and it
actually has new stuff on it. Whereas, PlayStation Now there was just nothing.
I cannot believe they said about EA Access that it didn't offer their players enough value for money, and
it didn't offer them enough value for money.
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
But but also the weird thing with this is you don't need PS Plus to play online games with these games, though.
No,
like
I
you
suppose
can,
because you
can play online anyway.
You're paying for PS Now, so you're paying for that, and then it's a remote. Device that's running the game, but then if you're downloading the game, then it would. I don't know.
We're out of our depth already.
Yeah. Isn't PlayStation Now a bit of a joke?
Edit stuff out. This is the problem with the live. Forget that.
Isn't PlayStation Now a bit of a joke? Really, like Sony bought Gaikai to have like a streaming service. Never really did anything with it. PlayStation Now. I mean, who actually is anyone in the audience subscribed to PlayStation Now? No, I was imagining one hand. I like PlayStation Now.
Everyone's scared.
What I find strange is that we rag on it and we're saying who uses it or whatever. But the E3 just gone. There were so many companies saying we want to do exactly that thing. So that apparently is still where the industry's going. But
but Sony's offering is terrible.
It's true.
It's too expensive. If it was cheaper, I think people would definitely give it a go. But £13.
Okay, next story.
Okay, now this is the sad one, which is that Telltale Games have laid off the majority of their staff now.
Yeah, I was reading a bit of this morning, and one of the things that was not leaked, but one of the staff had tweeted or whatever, saying that the only game that made money for Telltale was the first season of Walking Dead. Everything else lost money.
That's tragic.
And it is. It's really sad. It's because that first season was incredible.
Yeah.
I think it sort of highlighted that style of game. But would we have had Life is Strange and stuff like that? Note that one down. Life is Strange. It's a good game. We like that one. Would we have games like that if it wasn't for the first season of Walking Dead? And probably. I don't know for sure, but it did sort of. That was the first one that come out and said, actually, narrative-driven moral choice games like this could work. But then they just started churning them out.
That first season was so good. I mean, everyone was talking about it. Every time an episode came out, it was like, what were your choices? Who died? Was Ben alive in your version of the game? The answer is no for everyone.
I think
but it's so good. And after that, it's just like no one's talking about it. And then like the releases were like, it's like episode 1 might come out, and then like 3 months later we have episode 2.
See, that's what I never got, because I stuck with this right to the bitter end and now regretting that because they're not going to finish it at all. Which is, that's the other thing.
It's shocking.
Because they officially confirmed that they are not finishing?
Yes, they have. Because they said,
that is mental.
They had 25 people left that were remaining and that's what we thought, okay, maybe they're going to finish up this season, because there's only it's 2 episodes.
There's 2 episodes left,
Yeah, but then apparently they're working on the Netflix, Minecraft series instead. So maybe they're just going to get sued really badly if they don't finish it. So they've got to do that. But it's a massive shame because that means that we're never going to get to see the end of that until
we'll never know the end of Clementine's story.
Well, until eventually there's a Kickstarter in like 5 years or whatever.
There's going to be just a drawing.
Yeah,
but
Clementine is dead.
Someone could just make a GIF and it'll work out.
But you see, we all played the first season of this. Yeah. Why did none of you care to continue playing it?
I think one of the main things is that it felt to me that instead of taking what they had and building on it, they took what they had and spread it as thinly across as many different licenses as possible.
Yeah, but why specifically The Walking Dead?
Well, The Walking Dead, I did play a lot of season 2, but it felt like, I don't know, maybe continuing that one story didn't do it any favours because it felt so brilliant the way that season 1 ended.
It would have been perfect to end on just season 1.
Yeah.
And
I think for me, it was just that their games stopped working properly.
It was that, but
they never started working properly.
I think one of the other things was the generational gap as well. Because
there
was that whole thing, wasn't there, where everyone, you all played it on Xbox 360 or whatever, and then you got Xbox One and you couldn't transfer saves. There was that whole thing as well. I think that probably
and if you remember correctly, when they launched season 2, it was on the older machines initially, and we'd just got these brand new spanking machines. We didn't want to boot up the 360 and wipe up.
I did do that. I did do it, and then
wind it up.
Because so I played 360 for like season 2, or maybe like one in between 1 and 2, and then after that you could port your saves. But and also X360 to Xbox One. But obviously, most builds went from 360 to PS4. So like they thought, sod this.
But no, I mean they also had. I mean they bought so many licenses as well. There was like Batman. They got like Game of Thrones. All of these things must have
only Fools and Horses.
That was my favourite.
They bought every license under the sun.
Rodney will remember this. Press X.
Dave will remember this.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
They could save the company if I did that. I would play The Office. The Office like that would be amazing.
So that's it. I mean, basically, once they finish with this, it's effectively they'll be done.
It's a real shame. Like I say, I sort of went off their stuff because, as I say, because it was The Wolf Among Us that did me in. I was really enjoying it.
What were you playing it on? Sure.
I think I was on the Xbox 360.
Oh, okay.
And then first 2 episodes enjoyed, but like constant, like during like the QTE bits, and it would just like freeze and stuff, and you'd end up messing up. So that was frustrating. And then episode 3 just didn't load at all for me. And I was like, do you know what? This is it. I'm done.
It's crazy because I mean, it's funny because I played them all on like Xbox One or like PS4, and they were mostly okay. And the most recent one, like the last season of The Walking Dead, was really like technically I thought it was fine. It was.
Well, isn't the most recent one they've 2 episodes in? Isn't that a whole new engine? Or
I don't know if it's a whole new engine. Again, we're out of our depth here, but it's but it was like an over-the-shoulder camera. It was this was a lot better. I thought it was
But like it is gutting though, because like in terms of their legacy, like you forget that obviously before The Walking Dead they also redid Sam and Max, and they brought that back, and now like
they did Monkey Island stuff as well. Yeah. Was it?
Phil was nodding.
It was the Monkey Island stuff. And there's Back to the Future as well. It was the other one.
Right.
Back to the Future was good. I enjoyed that.
And it's it's important to remember, as you say. So you got Life is Strange and stuff, but there's also been a resurgence in your traditional point and click adventure games, which is, you can't deny that probably this was something to do with it. So it's a huge shame. Never mind the fact that God knows how many people have just lost their jobs. There's been tweets around saying people literally started there last week and they've like relocated their family to
it's just terrible because they've like been dismissed, like no severance pay. They're gone.
Well, shout out to the people that have been laid off to Telltale, man. Hope you pull through. Next story.
Okay, I'm hesitating with this one.
Why?
Oh God, why?
Is it about
no,
story?
Because it's Dead or Alive 6.
All over that.
The main news story.
Well, no, because I thought of interest maybe the pre-order bonuses that you get with this.
Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. So it comes with. So it's quite.
That's the right word. Go on.
Wait, Matt. It's there's more coming. That really wasn't it. Okay.
Grow up.
Okay. It comes with 5 bathroom posters.
Bathroom?
Yeah.
Bathroom? You haven't got photos.
Poster.
You got any photos?
No, I'll send you them later.
Okay.
These posters, are they laminated by any chance?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And that's what they... Okay.
They've worked these posters so they are specifically for the bathroom.
Where would I put them? Where would I put it?
Where? What? Your money?
Where do I throw the money?
It's quite expensive, but then there's also mouse pads as well, which obviously with pretty good wrist rests, as you'd imagine.
Disgusting.
And also some pillows as well.
Are these like full size?
They're full size pillows.
Didn't they say that we're toning this stuff down for 6?
Yeah.
Didn't they say they were going to tone it down? No, not
They put that the first trailer they put out for this. All the women were like fully dressed, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, James was livid.
Outrageous, but it's Japan only. All this anyway, so
I'm sure you can import James.
He's booked his flight to be there.
Play Asia, isn't it? But yeah, they say they're discreet. So anyway, so that's it. That's pretty much. Although also Phoenix Wright Trilogy is getting re-released.
All right, that's the news.
But no one cares, so it's fine.
Thank you, James.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go.
Again, I want to see a news program where the anchor says, That is fine.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm a bit nervous about this one, but we'll carry on.
Right, so we got here yesterday, early morning. We've spent 2 days at the show. We've been playing a lot of stuff. We managed to sneak in quite early this morning to get to some big titles as well. And so it's time for what you've been playing. And should we just start with what we first played this morning?
Yeah,
Because it's a big one. It's Division 2. And I must admit, I mean, did you all play The Division?
So we recently had a go on it.
Yeah.
A couple of months back, because when they started hyping up Division 2, and everyone was like, "Did you know the first one actually ended up being pretty good?"
Yeah.
And you can get it for £6 in CEX.
Yeah. This is the thing. Obviously it's a massive game. We got like 15 minutes with it. And although, essentially it looks so similar to what we'd played before, the one thing that I noticed straight away is that the levels look way more open. If you remember, like with the Division, there was a lot of going into buildings and following corridors, and then there's a kill room and whatever. On this one, we were sort of in the middle of this big war zone.
It was the E3 demo where you're basically...
It was the one from that?
Yeah, you're basically in amongst like a huge plane.
And I just think the more of that, the better. It makes you feel that you could be attacked from anywhere and whatever. It's the Division. Really cool, there wasn't a lot to sort of say, this is the next, but this is a huge step up. But you wouldn't get that from 15 minutes. It's like playing through the campaign and doing the later stuff.
Yeah, graphically, it looked amazing. I mean, like the gunplay in the first one, because I think that was definitely when I was playing loads of Destiny 1, where the gunplay was amazing.
Yeah.
And I always felt like the gunplay felt a bit weak and a bit woolly. Yeah. It felt fine in this.
Especially because in Destiny, because you're shooting aliens with space guns, it's believable that an alien will survive several headshots. Yeah. Whereas in the Division, you're like, I'm shooting a person with a gun.
But honestly, if you get a good headshot, it would have a really satisfying sound.
Yeah, it does. I always love that. Whenever there's that proper like ping when you get a headshot. That's what Strange Brigade does so well as well. It's like that proper sort of thud when you get a headshot.
I love it,
I mean, it's horrific when you think about it. That's what we care about.
I love the sound.
Someone in the head. I really want to know it.
Just like real life.
I mean, that's the truth. James, you
I played quite a lot of The Division. I played it for several months, like every Friday or whatever, with the people I play with, and it was. We came to it late. Like we came to it after it had been out probably already for like 6 months or 8 months or maybe even a year. And you see, I never understood, because I remember hearing you talking about it, and you were kind of like a bit like. Not negative about it, but a bit kind of like, it's all right, but it felt quickly.
Kind of unfinished when we were playing, because we were playing it from launch,
But by the time that we got to it, it was, I think they done quite a lot to it, and it was really fleshed out, and it was, we had a brilliant time with it. We played it, as I said, for months, and this is why, this is the people I play with don't like spending money very much, and they don't, they really.
Well, not everyone's like you, James.
Yeah.
The Tory boy.
No, is it? David. That was horrible.
Can't deny it.
Anyway, no, as in like even £5 is like I'm not spending that. It's like, that kind of thing. So anyway, but this is like nailed on. They're absolutely going to buy this because it's it looks. I thought it looked good, but I didn't think it was like massively amazing or anything.
No, I as I said, it was a lot more like The Division than I thought it would be, but it seems so. You cannot judge it. We didn't use any of the gadgets and stuff, and you know how much of a huge part of the combat that is in The Division. So I felt like we've had this tiny little taste of it, and the one thing that stuck out was the level design was so different to The Division.
Yeah, so graphically it does look better, but it feels more detailed, but also because it's so open. Well, before it's just sort of like tiny rooms, corridors and stuff. So. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in playing it for sure.
Cool. Well, what's the next game? Say the first game on that list.
Okay. Well, I've got on my list. I've got Toycon 3, which we've.
You played what?
Toycon 3.
Labo.
Labo. Yeah. So this is such a weird. It's weird because you come to an expo like this and the queues are crazy. And I was really, really interested in seeing this new Nintendo Labo stuff. And they've only got 4 things set up, right? There's 4 screens with the complete set. It's the vehicle set, this new thing that they're bringing out. And it was empty. Like, no one was, you just walk onto it. I really love it. I went into playing it hoping that the game was going to be good enough for me to enjoy as well. I come away thinking probably not, but Harry is going to absolutely adore this thing.
Yeah, you see, I had the same experience because I was like playing it, and then the woman showing it just said, like, what do you think? And I said, this would be, my son will love this.
Yeah.
But
what do you think, sir? I hate it. I just hate rubbish.
The basic idea is that you've got 3 vehicle types, right? A submarine, a car, and an aeroplane, and you've essentially got a key with a Joy-Con in it that you put in and out of the different vehicles, and your vehicle in this sort of open world environment changes. And it seemed like fun, but it was kind of like there just didn't seem to be enough. But you guys come away way more positive than we did.
But I think I benefited from the fact that I forgot about the other vehicles. I thought it was just a car game.
What?
So
really?
Yes. Then after like 5 minutes, she was like, "Oh yeah," and if you take the key out and wheel this other thing and put it in there, and now it's a submarine. I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" So yeah, I really enjoyed it, but yeah, just concerned about how much there is to
Well, because I thought it was going to be a lot like Pilot Wings, and it feels more like it's just a fun little place to drive
I don't know,
around.
the flight stuff really felt like Pilot
That
Wings.
was the best thing.
It felt like it, but there was no...
Yeah,
in terms of the difficulty of challenge, it was like shoot some balloons.
It's just shoot balloons, isn't it?
That was Pilot Wings.
Yeah, but it's how deep how far they take that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we'd never been able to tell with the amount of time we played it, but if there's harder missions later on, then maybe it is worth playing. But I'm going to have to end up getting it anyway.
Basic.
I'm going to have to get it anyway because the boys have been going mental over it.
Have you been tempted to get the robot one?
No.
Why not?
Because
he doesn't like robots.
Harry's too young for it, isn't he?
He's too young for it, and it looks like a ridiculous amount of time. I mean,
that's
the
the
piano
one
was sending me crazy.
Right? Is that the backpack one?
Yeah.
It's the one that it's supposed to take about 7 hours to build or whatever.
James, you've got it, and you've not built it.
Yeah, and that's why.
You've just bought sheets of card. That's it. It's not a Toycon until you build it, James.
I know. I mean, it was for my son's birthday, and he's forgotten about that now.
Right, okay. Was it really for your son's birthday, or was it for you?
No, it was
because James really this weekend he surprised us. He's outdone himself, right? So when we were leaving for EGX, James turns around to me and says, "Have you got your Switch with you?" And I said, "Well, no. Harry's going to want to play that all weekend. I've left it with my wife." He went, "Oh, I've got mine with me." And I went, "What about Asher?" And he went, "Yeah, well, and also his 3DS is in for repair." So I said, "Your son has got nothing to play."
Poor child.
He was not happy, like, at all.
Why admit that to us? Why don't you say, "Oh no, he was all right. No one here."
He was crying at the window.
No, I said to him, people are relying on me. We've got to play.
Daddy needs the system with him.
We've got to play Overcooked.
Listen, this is
We haven't played Overcooked. By the way.
I was going to say, this is going on YouTube, right? And when your son's 18 and he comes across this video, we didn't even play it last night. No. We couldn't be bothered. We were all tired. So.
I mean, I brought like the Pro controller as well.
Yeah, I mean, he has got nothing at home.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to leave. Like,
I took his bedside table. I took his bed.
We were eating his favourite cereal this morning.
I just don't want to leave reminders laying around.
What's the next game?
Okay, we see the next one on mine is none of you played, which was the. Are we going to go through like literally everything that we played?
No, well, you will touch on stuff.
I mean, I played Alien vs Predator on the Jaguar.
Right, well, not that one.
We'll move on.
Was it really good?
No.
Okay.
We played Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Again, let's read the retro stuff.
That's what I said. Do you want me to go through?
Hang on. Well, while we're on retro stuff, we did all get to have a go on a virtual.
That is what I was coming to next.
Cool.
Yeah, so
I say it was cool. It was horrible, but it was nice to be able to do it.
See, I've always wanted to have a go on a virtual.
I've never seen you so happy.
Yeah, I know.
He was like, we were.
He was very happy in that whole retro area.
There's a virtual boy. Just stuck his head in this little visor thing. This little grin was lifting the. There was that, and so much the little thing was just going up.
Yeah, just like laughing.
I did get excited because I saw that, and then I saw a 3DO, and I was like, "Look, it's not even a Panasonic one; it's one of the Gold Stars." it's like no, you gotta get excited.
You absolute nerd.
I felt sick after using the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, well, that was the thing because I had a go, and then I said, "Why don't you ever try it?" But then after we'd finished, like we were walking away, I was like, I'm really starting to feel queasy. Really, like you get like the headache and that.
They tried to sell that to other humans. Can you believe that?
You can see why there was the warning on the box.
You just don't use it.
I mean,
how it got through like R&D and stuff, like it just amazing.
I mean, this was worse than anything I've ever felt from PSVR. Like,
really?
Definitely.
It didn't get
because PSVR, you take it off.
Oh,
and
Matt's
within
been
minutes, you're
agony.
fine.
No, Matt, you've been acting the big one ever since yesterday. We've been all saying...
Well, I wasn't as sick as you guys.
Yeah, exactly. No, what I'm saying is that because remember when you first tried VR and you were all excited about it and you lasted 2 minutes and went, I'm quite sick. Well, Virtual Boy didn't make Matt sick, so all weekend he's been going, I was fine, lads.
Yeah.
I had that was easy. What's the matter with you?
It wasn't really virtual enough, though, for me.
No, it was just a bit 3D.
It was just like red. It was just some red stuff. It was attached. It was just fine.
Anything else?
We played Dreams as well. I think. Did we all play this?
Dreams? I still don't understand. No, we didn't play it. I didn't play it. I think you three did.
Yeah, we played it. Yeah. I was always under the assumption that Dreams was like a fully PSVR experience, and it's not basically.
I always thought it was like a game building tool.
It is, yeah. And so on like the demo, you can play in like the demo pod. There's like 9 various different demos. One's like a text adventure. There's like a 3D platform, a 2D platform. There's loads of different types of games, which is again a bit like Little Big Planet. It's really impressive. They can make it with one tool.
Did they try and show you how they were put together? Was there like a video of...
No.
So they were
Nothing
just
like
3 little mini games?
Yeah, there's was about 9 of them.
Yeah, 9,
There was 9.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
you guys really liked this, didn't you?
Well, yeah.
Go on.
They varied in interestingness. There you go.
Yeah, that's fine. It's in the dictionary now.
That's a word now.
PhD, everyone.
But no, they. It just doesn't come straight away. You know? It's like. Anyway, so yeah, there was some there that were good. Like, I like that one that was Comic Sans. That was good.
Yeah, that was really nice.
I actually struggled with that.
Is it another type-faced...
No, it's not a type-faced one.
It's not Type Rider 2 or whatever it is.
It was just like a little platform, wasn't it? But it was kind of basically, it was just interesting. Like you start off as this little square and you sort of hobbling along, and then like a hand comes in, draws some legs on him, and then you can run and jump. And then
that didn't happen in my one. I was just a box. Really? And I played everyone until like the end or till I died and got bored.
It's literally the whole thing's about 90 seconds long.
Well, yeah, so it was one screen.
I don't know if you know that.
I completed it, mate. It was one screen and there was a box, and I basically jumped up and down and it didn't go anywhere. I was like,
so Matt, when you got to the desert bit,
you won't have got to the desert.
I was in the first like screen. I was like, what's the point of this? I couldn't turn over. So
what Matt was supposed to do was move to the right.
I went up and down.
See, if you'd have ever played any Mario Brothers games, you'd know that.
I've played a Mario Brothers game, James. Anyway, yeah. So what? I mean, there's a text adventure, which is
that wasn't great.
Yeah,
I wasn't keen on that. But I mean, the big problem that I felt with it was the controls again. Was the thing, and it was. In the platforming stuff, it wasn't like that whole floaty Little Big Planet sort of thing. But in the combat, they had like a sort of space sim combat sort of section, and it was really interesting. But it was really like twitchy. And, it was it didn't feel quite right. So
okay, well, I mean, it's hard to even judge because it's not it's not a game as such. So
this is it. It's like,
we don't know what it really is.
Like what we played was entertaining, if a little bit rough in places, but obviously could it be that if you buy the game literally every day you load it up and there'll be like a dozen new things for you to just be like, oh, that's quite cool, like just fun little experiments that you can just go through over and over.
Well, that's what we'd be hoping, but did that happen with Little Big Planet?
Well, this is just it, and I know I haven't got the patience to actually make stuff for it as well.
No, neither have I. Or the skill. So
all that.
It's fiery today.
I meant myself there, not yourself.
So I feel like like Little Big Planet, I'm going to sort of appreciate that it exists. I don't think I'm going to buy it.
We'll see.
I also played Figment, which I made you play, and also I made Matt play.
So Figment's a game that's already out. It's it felt like what was that? Bastion. It felt a little bit like Bastion, but it was sort of this. It was more of a musical, wasn't it? Like I mean, a theatrical musical, like proper old school. But I saw where it was going, but there was nothing that stuck out to say, you really like this.
I like the music stuff because I felt the comedy, like, sort of, music stuff was just on the right side of being funny rather than awful. And, I really loved it. I mean, that's why I made you play it because I thought, this is,
And you said you were going to go home and buy it?
Probably, yeah. I probably will.
So what are you going to get it on?
Switch.
All right.
It's, because I mean, I went back several times, and in the end, he let me play it on the Switch to see.
Oh my god, the weirdo's back. Just give him the Switch. Just give him the Switch
if he goes away.
So I mean, the whole story is about this. It's this like you're in the mind of somebody who's like had a car accident, and you're trying to like reconstruct your memory, and that's why you sort of go through these like.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where that goes. But speaking of the right side of funny, though. We all played What the Golf.
Yeah.
So good.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was really surprised. So it was on the PC, and I don't know if they could possibly do it on any other console the way it plays.
Yeah.
They must be able to. There must be a way.
Yeah.
But it's a golf game. You look at it, and it's like what would they call it? A mini golf.
It's like mini golf.
Sort of game. And the first hole you put the ball in the hole, and then the second hole comes on, and you go to hit it. But instead of what happens instead of?
So there's a guy there, sort of ready to tee off. But then as you click and drag and then release to hit the ball, the guy flies off. And at first you think, well, that's a funny joke, but how long can you keep that up? Yeah.
It mixes things up so much that I was laughing throughout. And I only went over because you were like, Matt, you were like, Dave, you got to play this.
Yeah.
And it's not all funny little wacky things like that. Some of the levels you're like, there's some, I don't want to spoil it because a lot of it is the surprise. But there's some holes that are based on other games, and it takes mechanics from other games and puts them in this mini golf game, and it works incredibly well.
Yeah, like when you first look at it, it's like, oh, I see, they've taken the graphical style and it's like a funny reference, and it's like, oh no, that's the level, the way it works is based around.
I mean, the sad thing about that sort of stuff was
lunchtime.
The sad thing about that sort of stuff was that I don't know when it's coming out. Like, I didn't see there was no notes up or anything saying when it's coming out. But definitely check them out on Twitter. And
it made me laugh way more than I thought it would. Now I was playing another game after, and I still had like tears in my eyes from it because it's goal, but then also sometimes you control footballs as you're trying to kick the football into a goal, and then you control a car. And some of these like courses are really narrow, so you can like fly propel the car off the course, but you can grab it quick enough to propel it back on.
Well, the actual mechanics of hitting the ball changes throughout, and it teaches you in quite a good way. Like, so instantly you start going, oh yeah, I can do that, and it's one to look out for, definitely. I mean, especially if you're a PC gamer. Unfortunately, I'm not, so I don't know if I'll have a proper chance to play this.
This is the thing, because I can't. How would this work unless it's on PC?
It definitely works on iOS,
phone.
Or maybe like Switch and touch.
Yeah, we're touch with that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I mean, I think the only concern we all had was like for a sort of 10-minute demo, it's hilarious throughout. How does that stretch out to us?
If they constantly mix it up. Was that a golf game on iOS where there's basically like a million holes?
Desert Golf.
Desert.
Desert
Golf. Yeah. It felt like that in terms of like some of the holes you did really really quickly. And if it keeps up the innovation, the innovation interest, I don't know. I love that game. Yeah.
Cool. Should we talk about Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
It was quite funny when we played Smash Brothers. Matt, you missed out. Why did you miss out?
I was playing Metro at this point.
Metro. Okay, we'll do that next. But walking up, so it was the three of us, and obviously Smash Brothers is a 4-player game. The guy that we got paired with, I think he was quite reckoned himself in the world of Smash Brothers. I didn't know that Sean is actually really good at Smash Brothers. Like you turn, you always say, I don't actually like it really. And so we queued up, we got in, and the guy that we got linked up with was asking all these questions about different stages and different characters, and I thought,
surely he must have known all of that from that Nintendo Direct.
Oh yeah.
It's like, why are you asking?
We don't
why are you asking any more questions?
It's one thing that wasn't discussed in the 8 hours of Nintendo Direct that they and he was quite knowledgeable, and I thought, this is going to be embarrassing. And to be fair, James and I were rubbish at it, and we finished third and fourth on both games. Sean smashed it. I was like, and the guy next, because I was standing next to him, he looked genuinely upset. Like, genuinely
especially when Sean got his prize, which was...
you got a prize?
He did,
I don't know what Smash Brothers poster.
Show of hands.
Everyone's shaking their heads.
So we came out there, I said, are you going to get that framed, Sean? And he was like, it's just an advert. It wasn't very good,
what did you think? I mean, I've got nothing to compare it to. I mean, it felt fun to play, but it's Smash Bros. Like, that's the frustrating thing. It is, it feels like Smash Brothers, which some people will be very happy about, and some people won't be. So,
and as we learned from that Nintendo Direct, like so many of the changes are aimed at like high level players that are interested. Like, the timing on this one move has been tweaked slightly. That's brilliant.
But that would never have affected. Like, that's never going to affect the sort of passing people that just want it for the sort of Nintendo fanfare. So, I mean, they've got to do that. They can't change it too much because they do have this sort of hardcore following. James, what did you? Because you played the Wii U.
I played the Wii U one. I played the 3DS one as well.
Yeah,
and I've also, I played like the GameCube one and the.
So basically, you are a massive fan.
That's the problem because I'm not, and it's like it's one of those game series which I buy it every time it comes out on a new Nintendo console.
Why?
With the intention of thinking there must be something about this that I'm just not getting. That everyone loves this game, and I really like all these characters. I like fighting games a lot, but every time I play it, I'm like, okay, I kind of like it, but not that much.
Isn't it? It's the problem. It's just fun though to just like.
It is, but it's the chaos, and that's what I'm not so keen. And I'm sure that once you get good at this, it's not chaotic anymore because you can see like what's going on the whole time. But it's like, do you remember like Kirby Star Allies? You get the same feeling from that as well, where it's just chaos like going on. And I'm just too old. It's the thing. It's like I realised that when I played the Wii version with like my nephews, and they were like really good, and I was just I don't know what is going on anymore.
Yeah,
but surely it's a day one perch now that woman from Animal Crossing's in it.
Absolutely, yeah. But I'm definitely going to get it because the children really want it and they're really interested in it.
That's never concerned you before. The children also really wanted to Switch for the weekend.
My wife said that they'd had enough of the Switch, so she was fine with it. But
So Metro then. You played Metro. I didn't even know that you played this. I thought you went and saw the queue was like 2 or 3 hours and then...
No, because I got it just before 10, thankfully, and by... so I was in like the first group of people who got to play it this morning, and by 4 minutes past 10, or 5 past it, the queue was 2 hours long.
Ah, right.
I got in the first bunch, thankfully. Yeah. So I was really interested in this when they first announced it at E3 like a year or two ago. And immediately in this demo, there's basically a bit of a video about what the game's about. And as soon as you basically start underwater, and another character pulls you out of the water, and basically brings you back to life because you're drowning. And already there's it's dripping with atmosphere. It's all like post-apocalyptic, landscape where there's like weird, like mutated creatures and all sorts of stuff. And the demo, it's only like 5 or so minutes long, but essentially you make your way towards this encampment and there's loads of enemies to kill. I was quite disappointed with the demo actually, because in my mind it's all about survival and crafting things and surviving through this bleak landscape, but essentially you just basically went to this camp. You couldn't go any further.
Yeah.
And it's just loads of enemies to kill, and it just felt a bit generic. I was a bit disappointed about the landscape.
Have you played the Metro games before?
I played 5 minutes of one of the older ones, yes. So I know a lot about the game, don't worry.
But that's Metro it doesn't go hardcore with the survival stuff, and I don't know if they were intending to do that.
See,
with this.
before you played this, because we had a chat about this before you were like,
what are you going to do now?
No, because. When we were on this guys, coming down, you were like, I was like, what are you going to go for first? And you said, like, Metro.
Yeah.
And I said, why? And then you
yes.
And then you said, you described it to me as being like Half-Life.
Well, yeah, and I definitely got sort of Half-Life-ish vibes when I was outside, and much like in Half-Life 2, where you sort of look across the bay in that like huge outdoor beach area. I had like similar vibes
this is like
to
the Ferris wheel again, Matt.
Yeah. What? Oh, yes, they're similar games because they're both outdoor. There's no Ferris wheel in this game.
They both have guns in them.
It's not the same. It's not the same, James.
Did it look as good as it did at that E3 show?
Yeah,
that was the one
it
thing
looked fantastic. It looked really, really good. Yeah. I'm definitely so interested. I'm just a bit disappointed at what options they gave us because I felt it was a bit sort of generic, but. Yeah, no, but Metro was a game where you had to have like your mask on and that sort of thing. Yeah, so I thought there was a lot of survival.
I think that's all just sort of automated, though, isn't it? Like it's just all scripted. Yeah.
Anyway, I played it. I'm glad I played it.
Would you have queued for 2 hours to play it?
No. I did get a sick dog tag though. So.
Oh yeah. Wear that around your neck as you're skateboarding down to your.
What's a dog tag got to do?
Gourmet.
You mean if I die, they're like, oh, here's his name.
His name is Metro. Metro, R.I.P. Metro.
Yeah.
That is right. Let me just explain. That's my favorite. When I get him like that, that's my favourite thing in the world.
Oh, dear.
What's next? What else we got on that?
Okay, we've done the golf.
Yes, we have.
Can I talk about one of mine that I saw?
Next.
Okay.
Go on. What you got?
Well, because I saw something which I I kind of was attracted to because I saw like the.
But we're talking game wise. Focus on that. It's a lot of cosplay here.
Yeah, don't get onto that because it was with.
All right, let's go. Let's not get onto that.
No, because we had this really weird experience where like Matt, like because we were talking about like this. No, because we were like walking around the show floor, and I was like, "There's a lot of school kids here." Like yesterday, there was like loads of school kids.
No. This is fine actually.
And then Matt just said, "No, I thought they were all just like Persona, like cosplayers."
in my defence, I saw yesterday there were very stylised school uniforms. I don't think they were standard school uniforms.
They were not stylised school uniforms.
The ones I wouldn't have said that's just like a random kid in a school uniform. That's Persona. Anyway. Although there were a lot of school kids yesterday, so I thought, it's a really popular game.
But then you were like, why are they all wearing that? I said, because it's a uniform, Matt.
I saw a different one. It had makeup and all sorts. Anyways, move on. What are you playing?
So I played a game it's called obviously inappropriate content, which I was kind of like attracted to this when I saw the flag.
Yeah, I mean that just screams James Farley.
Yeah. Well, no.
He's like, oh god,
that's quite a good one. But no, it's a game which
is a good one there, David.
God,
again, it's a game which is kind of. I mean, the dev described it as being inspired by sort of Papers, Please, and by the idea of censorship. And what it is you take the place of a person who's working in like a Ministry of Information where you're playtesting games that are coming out. And so what you do is in the first session you sit down and you've got it gives you like an Xbox controller to play like these levels. And is it
actually a game you're actually playing the game?
Yeah, so it's like a side-scrolling like shooter, basically. Right. And in the background you've got all this stuff that's like, like it says things like Soviet scum and all this kind of stuff and like, get out of here and all this kind of thing. And so you like play through...
Get out of here.
Well, that's literally what it says.
Okay.
So you go...
Dave.
Get out of it.
Get out of it.
So you get through the levels and then you get through to the end and then you go back to like the desktop and then you get like emails through saying like, oh, there's been from like the ministry... It's saying, we need to remove this word, like from... Am I allowed to swear? I can't remember.
Just swear. He's going to stop.
Matt already did.
Did he?
What did I say?
Get out of here.
In the feedback.
Did I say the F word?
There was a T word that was used twice.
Oh, that's fine. I don't
What, twit?
Twit, I said.
Yeah.
What's the word? Come on, we're all adults here, right? Good.
Yeah. So it comes out and it says, okay, you've got to remove the word like fuck from it.
Oh, come on,
for Christ's sake, James! I told you not to swear!
That is the worst of the swear.
I've just got to apologise to everyone out here who's offended. This is just... That's fine. Just don't say it again.
So it comes through and it says, okay, you need to like go through this level again and you need to remove all of this content because we're trying to stop the inflow of like Western like capitalist ideas and everything into the country. So you go through the level and then what you can do is you can like screenshot whenever it like appears on like a poster or whatever like that, and then you go back into your desktop and then it's like, okay, you need to now like circle this and like report it, so that it gets removed.
This sounds like admin the game.
It is pretty much, yeah. But what's really interesting is you also get emails that come through all the time, and also like instant messages as well, where it's like kind of there's like this sort of conflict between the people that are working there saying, I'm not really happy with doing this. This is really messed up actually that we're censoring it in this way. And then you go through again and you sort of censor some more stuff, and then like in the demo it sort of like stops, and then it's like you get this sort of like, I'm going to log off now, and you like all these pop-ups appear, and it's like, do you enjoy what you're doing? Is this the right thing? Are people like watching what you're doing and everything? And it was really interesting. I mean, I found it fascinating, like the whole thing.
When are you breakdancing?
I'm not breakdancing.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. No. I mean, I must admit, I've always liked that sort of concept of playing a game within a game, but there being stuff around it. Yeah. It does sound good. Did they say what it's coming out on?
It's on Steam, like for the
now.
I don't think it's now because the guy that's developing it is doing like an MA, and this is like part of the project that he's working on. But he said the intention is to like get it out and then to eventually release on consoles as well. But the content is the issue because like for sort of platform holders they may not like what it is. And but yeah, it's really really interesting. I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Cool. All right. Can I talk about my favourite game of the show? Top bill was Poker in VR, and it's just
what was it? No, Poker Stars.
It's Poker Stars VR.
Poker Stars VR.
Which Poker Stars is a big poker brand or whatever. Right. And I like poker. And I was watching it. I just wanted to try this Vive stuff, right? Because I've never really had the opportunity to probably see what VR is like currently, And I was watching the screens of other people playing, and I thought, I'm going to hate this because I love poker. And I hate people that don't take poker seriously. So when I'm playing poker with my friends and you got that one guy who's just chatting away and you're like, no, sure, can you please bet so we can continue this game of poker?
Put the blind down.
And I was watching the screen and there's people just throwing stuff across the table and messing up the cards and that just looks like a nightmare to me. But it wasn't. It's a legitimately well put together poker game that has all that other stuff in as well. And it was a lot of fun to play. I said to James and Sean, let's just go and play it. And I don't think I've laughed so hard while playing a game, because we were playing poker as we were playing it. But when you're waiting for other people to make moves, you can activate your watch, which brings up a load of different sort of toys that you can play with. And some of the stuff we were doing, I mean, James going looking at what chips that he's going to pick, and then looking up and seeing me just pointing a gun at him, and sort of just gesturing for him to hurry up and stuff. There was a bit where we were hugging. Yeah. Me and you were hugging each other, and while James took a photo of it, and then you could take the photo out, all in the VR, and show us our characters hugging. What we didn't realise is that both Sean and I were giving a thumbs up to the screen, like off the shot as well. As we were doing so, there was one bit where I spawned about 8 poker trophies, and they were massive, and we just shared them amongst us.
Yeah, I'll have that one.
James looked so sad. He went, why can't I have one? So I just lobbed one at his head. I've never had so much fun in VR. It's the first time that I played it and thought, actually, this is properly immersive, because when I played it yesterday, it was more of a serious game of poker. And we were sitting down and there was someone to my left and someone to my right, and I was genuinely turning to them as though they were there. And today, when we were mucking about together, I was genuine. You were the other side of you were over to my far right. But it felt like you were right there because we had the voice comms on and everything like that. I genuinely think I could give up gaming and just play that for the rest of my life. I genuinely, because I mean,
for what it would cost you to set up, that's just as well. Really.
Yeah, exactly. I loved it, and I've never, I've always liked VR, but I've never been properly immersed in it like the way that you have, Matt. But coming away from that, I was just like, this is so good, and the fact that they thought of different ways of how to, when you're playing poker games online or whatever, it is just a click of a button. But I was literally leaning back and raising by picking up chips on the left-hand side and just chucking them in the table and that. And it made such a difference.
And you said there's a mechanic where you hold down a button, you can sort of peek at your cards.
Yeah, you can peek at your cards. And we tested it out, didn't we? Because you peeked at your cards and I leant over to try and look under to see if I could swan neck you, but you can't. Yeah. Like when you're folding, you could just pick the cards and flick them up. And I mean, honestly, when we get into that point, that's it. I think that's going to be my dad game. When I'm giving up on gaming properly and I can just play poker.
Don't talk to Dad how he is in his VR dungeon.
He's in his
VR games.
If you've got to ask Dad a question, put us on the helmet.
Sit at the table.
To get the answer of this question, my son, you must beat me. In a full round of Texas Hold'em. Chucking beach balls at his head. Lovely. So that was literally my game of the show. I loved it.
It was good, and like the controller stuff was interesting as well, because obviously, like we were talking about, like it is more advanced than the PlayStation Move controllers, but I think this could work on Move as well.
I'm not convinced.
I think it could.
I'm not convinced. Right. Okay. Well, have you got anything else that we haven't spoken about?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff here. Let's have a look. Matt, you played Into the Breach.
No, I played it for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a lifetime for you.
Shorter, Matt, you've played Starlink.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this looked ridiculous. When I walked up and saw you playing it, first you looked really like just, I want to get out of here. And secondly, you had like a star wing.
Yeah.
So thing just sticking out of your hand.
Yeah, it's available on both Xbox and Switch.
Yeah, and PS4 as well, is it?
Possibly. Well, we played it on Switch.
Yeah, we played on the Switch. So I went through a full sort of arc with this. So I started out like, oh no, this is pretty bad. Like, the controls are really weird, aren't they? So you're piloting a spaceship, but it was right stick to pitch up and down and roll, and then the left stick was controlled your height I think, or I can't remember.
Yeah, the controls are whack, basically.
The controls are really weird.
The controls are whack.
They're whack.
Is that where we're going with now?
No, they were fully whack.
Okay, well, we're going with whack, ladies and
I was on it
gentlemen.
for like 10 minutes, and even by the end, I was like, okay, I sort of get it, but I don't know, it doesn't feel good enough to fly the ship around.
It felt weird at first. And then when you're on the planet, so you fly down to a planet, sort of No Man's Sky style. Does the No Man's Sky thing of like, it's sort of, obviously it's changing between like detail levels of the planet as you
you're sort of
down,
above the planet, it's all cloudy,
and then
you go down the atmosphere.
judders, and then it sort of loads in properly. It's alright, fine. But then, and then when you're on the planet, I didn't realise you switch between like actually flying and then sort of just hovering, so it's kind of like tank sort of style gameplay. So I didn't know that. So at one point, I think I accidentally pressed the button to cut my engines. And I was like, what's going on? Why am I just like sat on the ground? So that was a bit of a learning curve as well. But by the time you get to the end of the demo and you're fighting this boss, I was well into it. I was because you fight this boss that's like this giant, it's like a giant spider thing, and it's got like, sometimes you have to shoot its belly and sometimes you're shooting like the top of it. So you switch in between these two modes. It's like sometimes you're flying, sometimes you're getting underneath and shooting it, and then like other enemies are spawning in and stuff. And then sometimes during the fight, he just starts making off, and you're like, right, Jesus. And then you have to like hit,
and you got to chase it across the map and stuff,
And I just thought I was pretty exciting. I thought it was really good.
The thing that sort of did my nut in is that it's also got like a Toys to Life thing where you buy little plastic like ships and you basically attach it to a special plastic controller that comes with the game, and I think you put your Joy-Cons into it. And the guy at the stand was saying, you can take off one of the guns and it changes it in game instantly, but you've got to have that thing on your controller the whole time.
And what was really weird,
because just stupid little plastic toy.
But also, don't change weapons.
Hey, there's probably a lot of craftsmanship.
Surely you just press Y. Like that.
So this was the thing. So when I played it, something was up with the toy. The controller wasn't reading it. And the game.
It's a model, Sean. It's not a toy.
The action.
That's what I was told.
The game just said, press X to play digitally instead. And then it just brought up a menu where I could just choose a weapon and stuff and choose my loadout. So I don't know what the deal is. Like, surely they wouldn't actually release it. Like, you need these toys.
Nintendo kicking off. Back there. I don't know if you heard that.
Reggie, he's me.
to release a Toys to Life game and then be like, you don't actually need the toys.
Because on my one, I was playing with the ship on the top. When I died, it said, please attach another ship to carry on.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Am I going to go to Smith's?
Sorry. Well, you better get Amazon Prime.
What's another 60 quid?
Okay, was there any of the Star Fox stuff in this?
In what sense?
I think that was what you were playing, wasn't it?
No, because I say the toy wasn't working on mine, so I was just some other shit. But you can be the R-Wing. Yeah.
Oh, is that it? I thought there was Star Wars.
Oh my God.
Star Fox specific stuff in this, but
there is.
Yeah.
Well, like levels.
If you've got, I don't know about levels and stuff.
I think it's like ships and characters.
It's just ships, right? Okay.
But they didn't. So in the Nintendo booth, they didn't put this like the.
No, they did. But as I said, with mine, it wasn't working.
Oh, okay.
So I
said that 4 times.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention.
But in terms of because it's open world and like I say, sort of with this boss fight, it felt like the open bits in like Star Fox 64 and stuff. And you have like sort of button combinations that allow you to do like instant 180 spins and stuff. I thought it was cool. But
cool, right. Is there any other big ones to do? Because we'll move on to questions in a second.
Okay, Matt played Grip. Do you want to talk about that? Not really.
Well, we play. Is that Grip? Grip was the sort of? It's like an arcade racer thing, right?
Well, yeah, I think so. I'm fairly sure this was a Kickstarter built by a lot of the ex-devs who made Roll Cage, and now they've made another one essentially.
Wait, is it called? I thought it was called Grid. Is that just the weird futuristic? Right, okay.
It's Grip. Yeah.
I was thinking about
it's a futuristic
they're going to get sued by
I thought it said Grid as well.
I thought it was Grip, and Grip would make more sense, surely.
Well, if it's Grid, they're going to get sued by Codemasters. So
probably Grip then.
It's
probably Grip.
It's Grip.
Plus, also you cling to the ceiling.
Yeah,
so
and
Grip would
you
make
grip
more
to
sense.
make services.
Sorry, go on.
So what I found annoying about this game actually is that there's loads of bits where it was just like you would hit something, you would stop. Like what I remember about the old Roll Cage games is that no matter what surface you're on, what angle, you can basically you're still going forward, still bobbing forward. This you could do that, but there was also loads of bits where you can easily fly off a screen and basically blow up. Yeah. So I don't think it didn't feel as sort of as it didn't feel like a complete sort of like a tube which you can like go on any surface, up, down, left, right, and continue to race on. And I wasn't really too impressed really.
That sounds whack.
It was whack. It was so whack.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, what's Ride 3?
It was
right
a
through was
motorbike game.
the motorbike game. It's really funny to watch people play it. It's really so it's quite a serious motorbike sim, and I found it okay actually. I was staying on the track and I was doing all right, but there was some people that were like, because it looks incredible, right? It really does look good. I was watching people sit down, try and play it, and they were like, "Oh, great motorbike game or whatever." First corner, straight through
and
the barrier.
as soon as you go on the grass, you get like a time penalty as well. I mean, that was a game I played immediately after What the Golf, so I still had tears in my eyes, which didn't help.
I was sitting next to this one guy that was getting genuinely angry because every single corner, it just. just the wheels just slipping away and sliding down. I was like, it's quite a serious sim game. And we were talking about it, and it was like, obviously it's got an audience. It's not really for us, but it's blooming good to have at an expo just to watch people constantly fail. So not bad.
Okay,
not for us.
One other thing, you had Moonlight.
Moonlight was. This was a.
It was Moonlighter.
Moonlighter, yeah.
Oh, brilliant, thanks, guys.
That is not that's Matt's fault.
Moonlight.
I didn't write it down. I didn't write it down.
Do you know much about this game, Sean?
I've seen trailers for it.
Is it out on Steam now?
Cool.
Or is it?
It's been out on Steam a while, and it comes out to Switch in November.
Yeah.
Right, so I was quite surprised by how much I liked it, because it does, on the face of it, does seem like an RPG dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
And it's not really like that. It feels more like a Zelda style thing, walking into dungeons. Well, I suppose a dungeon crawler, but for starters, it looks really, that sort of pixelated thing that I've been moaning about for the past year or so, like about every indie game sort of having this style. But the animation is some of the best I've seen in any of those games. I mean, I played Dead Cells this morning, which looks great, but the animation on this, although it's a slower game, the swinging of the swords, also, you've got to see it in motion, to sort of appreciate it. And everything seemed a lot more scaled back from games like that I've played. It seemed very clear what you were picking up and what the advantages were. It's one to look out for. And it's perfect for
on the PC, I saw some reviews that it was getting 9s and people saying this is a stunning game. I was getting like lower, like 6s and 7s. But I've been keeping an eye on it, and I'm quite interested to see when it comes out.
James, I think you should definitely check it out. I mean, it's your sort of game by the looks of it.
What did you say it was on? It's
coming out for Switch.
It's coming out. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you paying attention.
Yeah, well done.
Can I talk about Baba Is You? Because it's probably my favourite game of the show.
Right, here we go. He's planting his flag. Go on, what is this?
So this is, I think it's already out on itch.io, and it's coming to Steam and Switch. And it's basically, so it's this puzzle game, 2D puzzle game, where you have like a little character called Baba, except you aren't necessarily Baba, because the trick of it is you're essentially like, as well as like there being sort of, there's like what?
You just look way too smug talking about this game. You just got this big credit, right? It says about Baba, but you're not actually Baba.
So I've been happy, Dan.
It makes me sick, Sean.
So within the level, there are like words, right? So the reason the game's called Baba Is You is because like one block will say Baba, another block will say is, another block will say you, and that means you control Baba, right? So if you nudge one of those blocks out, that breaks that rule. Like that is a rule that it is part of the mechanics, right?
Right.
And these things are dotted all around the screen. So there'd be other things you can mess with or sort of rewrite, and you can basically like reprogram it. So like the first level, you're surrounded by walls, and you've got, and there's like a flag outside the wall, and it's, and there's one that says like flag is win and wall is stop, right? And you can nudge the word stop out of the way, so wall isn't stop anymore. So the wall's still there.
Right.
But you can walk through it, and you can get to the flag, and you can win the level. Or, where it says flag is win, you could move the word wall to replace the word flag, and then run into the wall, and you would win.
And then win.
Right?
So it kind of feels like it's like it has that feeling. Obviously, it's not the same, but like you're recoding the level just based on.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah,
just like tweaking the mechanics, but in this sort of like, sort of in the world as well. And yeah, like that's literally that's level 0.
Okay,
and you're thinking about stuff like this, and it just from there it just gets more and more complex, and it's absolutely fascinating. I properly enjoyed it.
Well, and when's this out? What's it coming out?
I don't know. It's like I say, it can't be far off because it's already done. I think it's just a case of.
It's coming out on Switch. We played it in Nintendo.
Yeah, I played it.
But how do you swap the words? What do you do? Is it
you just push them around?
Well, how do you mean?
Yeah, so they're like blocks in the world that you can push around and rearrange them.
Oh right, okay.
So that,
and then what? And then you flip back to move into the wall or what's So in each level it'll say like whatever is you, and you'll be in control of that thing. Right.
So for example, so you could take another noun, put it in place of Baba, and then you could become the wall or the flag or whatever. And it sort of invites you to sort of break it, basically.
Nice.
But any solution that works is fine.
It sounds like Scribblenauts done right.
I was just thinking.
You know what I mean? Because Scribblenauts had an interesting concept, but never really nailed what to do with it. This seems like, hey, scale that back a bit.
It's a bit tighter.
There's a lot of fun here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Loved it.
Is that it? Have we done our list?
That is it. Yeah, that's what we got.
Right. Now it's your turn. We're going to do a Q&A section. Obviously, we've got no emails this week.
I mean, this is a risk. It's got like 53 minutes.
We're not stopping at 7.
No,
we want to get down the pub, right? We want to get down the pub.
We never discussed how we're doing this. Am I just going around the?
No, this is going to be James.
All right, fine.
James's job. He loves it.
Yeah.
Get amongst it, James.
So if you've got a question, put your hand up, and James will come round and let us know, and we'll answer your questions, and we'll try and be funny at the same time. Let's go, James. Farley.
Okay.
Run.
There he goes. Look.
Watch out for the speaker, James.
It's been a long day. It's anyway. Okay,
you're not doing stand up. You're going out and.
I know I'm not doing. Anyway, okay. What are you going to pick people or?
No, you're going to pick people.
I got to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Give it on the microphone.
I think a lot of people are wondering this, but who is going to choke Matt out?
John was here. John was here, right? But he's gone.
Oh, he's left. Once again, John has left. I mean, it's convenient again. There's no choking this year. That was not a theme for this year's show.
I mean, obviously he's scared of you. That must be.
Can I tell that story? Right, so this morning I did the Retro Asylum podcast here, and I walked in and there was a few people that I knew, and they said, "Hey, right, so who's choking Matt out this week? Who's doing that?" And then Tom Champion, who runs the show, came in and said, "I've had to turn up because apparently someone's going to get choked out on stage, and we can't let that happen." And I was like, "Oh no, that's not really what's going down." So literally starting a security risk. EGX, that's another one to tick off my list.
0 choking this year.
Shame. Next question. Let's speed it up, James. Let's get those legs moving.
Come
on, boy.
Pace.
Hi guys. My name's Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Cheers, man. My question's actually more for James. Since leaving university, I've actually worked in the industry for quite a while. And I worked for the first few years after university at a company called Paradigm Games. And I put a couple of years of my life into a game at that time called Juiced. And I was. So my question is,
I've got so many questions.
My question is, what specific advice has James got, that could have made that game better?
James, come on, it's all... He's running, he's actually scared.
I've got so many questions.
Just do what you want, James.
I'm not right next to the speaker. Remember?
We've had that before.
Advice is far away from the question and answer. Ask her.
Okay, so... This is very interesting. I'm
okay, because he's got a response. Okay,
Good.
So what exactly did you do on Juiced?
I was one of the animators.
Really? Okay. So what did you think of the advertising campaign?
I mean, I wasn't really involved in that side of things. I kind of kept my head to the ground during that phase. But I was just pleased with the work that I put into it.
So what was the buzz like though around with the game?
Around the studio, we were really positive about it. We were really excited. But it's a little bit of a shame that to see it's been, kind of become the butt of a joke a little bit since then.
Yeah, that's James. It's pretty harsh, really.
I'm not criticizing. So I've actually played the game, but it's true. But the advertising campaign did catch my eye for different reasons. And have you seen it at all?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
What did you think of it?
Let's not turn it around, James.
I think, I don't know, I mean, maybe at that time, maybe it still wasn't quite the right thing, like at that time to try and sell that kind of game. But it's also, I mean, I feel like at that time there was quite a lot of races coming out of that, not of that exactly that same sort of style, but similar kind of style. Maybe that's like kind of, it was a crowded space. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a crowded space, but we felt that we got a unique selling point.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy it?
I haven't played it. Which is...
Essentially, you've upset someone who's worked on the game and the team, and you haven't even played the game.
Just criticised the advert. That's all. I have a full and frank apology for this, but yeah.
I mean, I do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay. Oh, man.
Dave got something.
Excellent. That's my favourite.
Oh, God.
We've got a present for Farley. #TGCS.
I made that mistake one time. Or maybe a couple of times. I'm not sure.
I hope this is what I think it is.
I'm scared. Get into.
Do you want to give me the mic?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. Oh man, okay. I'm gonna have to buy a PS2 because I don't got one at the moment. But I will play this, and then I will be.
What is it that you've got though, James? For the people at home, James has got a copy of Juice.
I'll definitely give you a go with that. But yeah. I will definitely give that a go.
Yes, can you stream this? Find
no,
a way of streaming it?
I don't think so. We'll
figure it out.
Yeah. I'll figure something out, yeah. Thank you, man.
Right.
That's very good.
Any more questions? Raise your hands. Anyone else?
That's all right, let's go.
That's brilliant.
I mean, it gets us down the pub quicker, doesn't it?
Even better.
It does.
Okay, right. Well, if there's no more questions, come sit down, James.
I will.
There is something I want to say. I remember the first time I came to EGX, and we were doing Joypod at the time, and it was somewhere in London. And we wanted to do a podcast at the event, right? And that was, we wanted to go and play games and go and do a podcast. And we found a sort of a quieter area within the expo, and Matt had his laptop with him, and we plugged it into a socket that we found somewhere, and we almost got chucked out. The security saw us plugging something in, and they went crazy, and we almost got chucked out.
They basically said we're stealing electricity from the expo.
Yeah.
Like it's going to suddenly send like the whole PlayStation section down.
And it was to go from that to being here, not just walking around the show for the past couple of days, but to actually be on stage here and see so many people turn up and see us and see the T-shirts and everything. It's been incredibly humbling, and it's been an incredible experience. And I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone that come out and see us today. It really does mean a lot. We will hopefully see you down the pub. Any social media stuff you want to do, Matt?
Just twitter.com and you know that. Obviously we're gonna have this like after show drinks if you fancy coming down. It's at the Wellington pub in central Birmingham. Just find us and we'll be there for drinking and hugs and getting off of each other, apparently. That's the thing.
But yeah, a huge thank you for coming out, and thanks for living it. We will see you next week. Not at EGX, but on the podcast. Goodbye.
Thank you.